A common question that I'm asked by agents is, Heather, how do you do this? How do you do that? Heather, how do you do all of these things? So in this episode, I want to share with you a framework that I created to help you streamline your planning process when tackling a new project. It's called the Wealthy Agent Framework, and you can use it to make more sales. You could also use it to get more healthy. The key is knowing the steps and then taking action. Welcome to the Savvy Agent Podcast, where we help real estate agents build a thriving business so they have financial freedom in their life without having to work 24/7. I'm your host, Heather Wright. Now let's get to it. Let's dig into the Wealthy Agent Framework. So, what is a wealthy agent? Honestly, a wealthy agent is subjective to everybody because you might have certain goals that are totally different than mine, but once we meet those goals, we each consider ourselves in abundance of wealth. So the opposite of wealthy would be broke, just to keep it nice and simple. Let's think of the mindset of the broke agent versus the wealthy agent. A broke agent doesn't have any sales. They don't know where their next check is coming from. They never see their family, their spouse, or their kids, their friends. They might be overweight or in poor health. They have no savings in the bank. They might have a lot of debt. Now remember, this is all subjective. So a broke agent doesn't necessarily meet all of these, but the area that we each want to improve is what we're looking at as the broke agent aspect. Conversely, a wealthy agent has a full sales pipeline, spends more time with their family, and honestly, they have better quality time with their family. They make their health and self-care a priority. They don't live paycheck to paycheck. And who knows, maybe they even take every summer off. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Hang out by the pool every day. And they're definitely making extra spending money. Whatever your definition of wealthy is, you probably also have a definition of what's broke. So in this training, we're going to help you understand the framework, the 3 steps that you need to take to go from your version of broke to your version of wealthy. So who wants to be a wealthy agent? And here we are. So going from broke to wealthy, like I said, there are 3 steps: strategy, systems, and social. So number 1, with strategy. Broke agent versus wealthy agent. Without strategy, a broke agent feels aimless, they're lacking direction, they don't really know what to do next. They kind of fly by the seat of their pants all the time, and they have a scarcity mindset. So they're making decisions based on lack. A wealthy agent, of course, is focused. They work with purpose. They approach every day purposefully. They are determined. They know exactly what they need to do and how to do it. And they have an abundant mindset. So let's look at a goal here. I've got 3 examples. So goal number 1, or example number 1, the goal is to sell 50 properties. And so the strategy for that goal, let's say, and this is not the only strategy, this is one strategy, and it is actually really just a portion of a strategy. You could build upon this as much as you want. So for example, the strategy would be, I'm going to sell 50 properties using my primary lead sources of past clients, sphere of influence, my database, and Facebook ads. If you were to take that a step further, which I've noted here as advanced, your past clients might result in 12 sales. Sphere of influence, you're going to get 12 sales from that category, and 16 sales from your database, and 10 sales from your Facebook ads. This gives you an idea of the strategy to sell 50 properties. Because if you just said, well, I'm going to sell 50 properties this year, but you don't have a strategy behind how you're going to do that, that's going to be tough. Manifesting 50 sales, if you have only ever done 10 sales a year, duplicating that by 5 times is probably going to break down your business, and it's not going to give you the kind of life that you're probably hoping for as a wealthy agent, because you're lacking the strategy and probably the systems, which we'll get into next, and furthermore. So example 1, selling 50 properties, that's our strategy. Example 2, your goal might be to lose 10 pounds. A pretty Typical strategy to lose 10 pounds would be through diet and exercise. I'm going to eat less and move more. Example 3, I'm going to save $25,000 this year. And a simple strategy for that is to put $1,000 into a savings account for each of the next 25 closings. Easy strategies for our 3 goals. Step number 2 of the Wealthy Agent Framework is systems. So we've got our examples here, broke agent versus wealthy agent. When a broke agent does not have systems that are working to their benefit, they're disorganized, inconsistent, overwhelmed, and easily distracted. Whereas a wealthy agent is well organized, methodical, they're automated. Their systems work for them without them being there. And they're goal or results oriented. So those systems are in place to help their strategy make their goal come true. So example 1, we're going to sell 50 properties. We just went over the strategy. Here's the system for selling 50 properties. And again, this is just an example. Every agent is going to have systems that work for their unique setup. So the system for each follow-up source, past clients will receive 4 calls a year, 12 monthly home value emails, so 1 email a month sharing what their home value would be. They're going to do an equity update 4 times a year, and they're going to send a newsletter 15 times a year. And then if you were to take that system a step further, what's the system behind each action? We've gone over this a lot in trainings in the club. It might be an action plan in the CRM. It might be something else. Example 2, where we're going to lose 10 pounds. The system for losing 10 pounds, because eat less, move more, is great in theory, but it's not enough. Like, exactly how are you going to do that? So that system, you're going to track your food in MyFitnessPal and stay under X calories per day, or maybe follow your certain macro setup between your carbs, your fat, and your protein. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to track it to keep yourself accountable. And if you're going to move more, maybe your system is getting up 30 minutes early 5 days a week to give the dog a WALK. And I say WALK because my dog happens to be sitting next to me. And if he hears me say that magic word, he's going to go nuts and interrupt this training. Example 3, saving $25,000 this year. Good strategy to put $1,000 of each of the next 25 closings into a savings account, but you could automate that by adjusting your direct deposit to automatically move $1,000 per commission check to your savings account. So it's pretty close to the strategy, but it's automated, making it a system. And then our 3rd step to the Wealthy Agent Framework is social. And social might make you think of social media, but really social is about building on relationships. And you build on relationships by being social. Yes, you can use social media in this step, but it's really much more than social media. It's about connecting with people you know and building on those relationships. So to compare broke agent versus wealthy agent, a broke agent might feel invisible, forgotten. They might be a secret agent, whereas a wealthy agent is visible. They're recognized and connected. So in our goal of selling 50 properties, we've gone over the system and the strategy. And so what is the social to that? So the social would be adding more personal touches that deepen those relationships. For example, you could incorporate personal messages that are not automated. You could also use your Facebook list to sincerely engage with people, intentionally have a conversation with them based on something that they posted on social media. You could add a personal touch by sending a card on their birthday or their home anniversary. In example 2, losing 10 pounds, we're going to eat less and move more. We're going to track our food and set up the system to move more. How can you make that social? And social, that one is super subjective for each type of goal that you're going to be setting. And there's possibly some scenarios that it wouldn't necessarily apply. But in this example, well, you could be social by joining a running group. You can hire a personal trainer. You can join a gym and then be social with other members at the gym. So then when you skip a day because you didn't feel like getting out of bed, people might follow up with you and say, hey, where were you on Tuesday? I didn't see you here. You're showing up and you're being social, and then other people are going to rely on your presence and hold you accountable at the same time. Example 3, save $25,000 this year. We're going to put $1,000 into our savings account. We're going to have that automated. And so the social aspect of this is tricky because maybe you make a lot more money than your peers, your family, people that you socialize with on social media or in real life. You want to be conscious of how you're sharing this information so that you don't accidentally make people feel bad about themselves because they make less than you. People can be very sensitive about money. So one way you could do this is get an accountability buddy. Doesn't necessarily need to be somebody in your sphere of influence, but maybe it's a real estate agent in Savvy Agent Club who also has a similar goal. And so then you hold each other accountable. And also then maybe 2 years from now, they know somebody moving to your area and it results in a referral. Maybe that accountability buddy is your financial advisor or your coach. You could also join an accountability group of people that have similar goals. Dave Ramsey has a huge Facebook group on the people who are following his baby steps to financial freedom. You could also share your lessons as you're going through the process of saving $25,000. That's a big financial goal. And somebody who is not necessarily a real estate agent, but maybe they are saving for a down payment, they could benefit from learning your lessons. You can share your experience without being specific to the money. This is where you don't really want to get all braggadocious that I make so much money that I saved $1 zillion this year and now I'm here to condescend to you. Don't do that. But rather, hey, I had a financial goal of saving money this year, and here's what worked, here's what didn't work, and make yourself into a case study to share that with your clients in a way that would be beneficial for them to learn from, but doesn't necessarily brag about the money or set you up in a position of being superior to them. So let's review the Wealthy Agent Framework. We're going to go from broke to wealthy via strategy, systems, and social. When we don't have strategy, systems, and social. When we're broke, we might feel aimless, directionless. We have a scarcity mindset. We're disorganized, inconsistent. We feel invisible and forgotten. But when we do follow the Wealthy Agent Framework, we're purposeful and determined, well-organized and methodical. We're visible, recognized, and connected. So I ask again, who wants to be a wealthy agent? Well, of course, we all do. And now you have the exact framework and how to set yourself up for that level of success in every single thing that you do in your business and your life. You have everything it takes to be a wealthy agent, and I have complete confidence that you'll be able to accomplish your goals.